Namaste students, Hamesha खुश रहो बिटिया. I am JVN's Dr. Neeraj Dholia, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. So today we are here to discuss the topic precipitation, and this comes under the subject upstream and downstream process. So let's start. So what is the precipitation? So this is the formation of solid in a solution during a chemical reaction. So generally it is used for the protein in the downstream processing, and proteins are soluble in the cytoplasm or the cells in which they are produced. So they may be also soluble in the broth media in which they are produced, and we have to isolate and purify them. So precipitation is the formation of the solid in a solution during a chemical reaction. So if we perform a chemical reaction, we add some chemicals which convert the soluble proteins into the insoluble proteins. So they converted into the solid forms, and the solid forms are easy to isolate from the broth or from the media. So two things are there. One is the precipitate and one is the supernatant. So what are the two things? After the precipitation reaction, the precipitation which we found at the bottom uh, is known as the precipitate, and the rest of the media, rest of the solvent, which is generally in the upper form, or is known as the supernatant or supernatant. So after the precipitation reactions, the whole media is divided into the two parts. One is the supernatant and one is the precipitate. So proteins are found in the precipitate after the precipitation reaction. So protein precipitation, as I told that in the downstream processing, generally the proteins are the products, and the protein precipitation is widely used in the downstream processing of the biological products. So why the precipitation reactions is there, and why we perform the precipitation reactions? So it is performed in order to concentrate the proteins and purify them from the various contaminants. Contaminants means the other things which we do not require are known as the contaminants. So it may be other proteins, it may be other biomolecules, other salts, or the water. All you can term as the contaminants. So for example, in the biotechnology industry, protein precipitation is used to eliminate the contaminants commonly contained in the blood. So it is one of the example, but it is very widely used. So mechanism, let's talk about the mechanism of the precipitation. So in the precipitation occurs, it alter the solution potential of the solvent, more specifically by lowering the solubility of the solute by addition of the reagent. So what happened that when you add some reagent which causes the precipitation reaction, it changes the solubility of the solvent. So when solubility is changed, the proteins which are found in the soluble form may be converted into the solid forms or the in the precipitate forms. So principle, let's talk about the general principle of the precipitation. So the solubility of any protein is depends on the hydrophilic and the hydrophobic amino acid residues which are present on the protein surface. So it determines the solubility of the protein in any buffer or in any solution. So generally the hydrophobic residues resides in the core of the protein. So in the globular protein, one core is there, in inner part is there, and the hydrophobic residues remains at the core part, but some exist in the patches on the surface. Okay, so in the 3D structure of the protein, the hydrophobic part is the center, and some of the residues exit from this core as a patches on the surface. So high hydrophobic amino acid content on the surface have the low solubility. So as much as the hydrophobic amino acid increases in the protein content, the solubility of the protein decreases. So the charged and polar surface residues interact with the ionic groups in the solvent and increase the solubility of the protein. Okay, so the hydrophobicity increases the insolubility, and the charge in polar surfaces increases, and the charge in polar residues which increases in the protein, that lead to the increased solubility of the protein. So therefore, the knowledge of a protein's amino acid composition will aid in determining an ideal precipitation solvent and method. So if we have the knowledge of the hydrophobicity and the charges which are present on the solution, on the protein, which help us to determine the solubility and to perform the precipitation reaction for the isolation of the proteins. So hope you are satisfied with this digital session, and if you have any query, please write in the comment box. I will resolve your query. This session is powered by Digital Version 2, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Thank you.